Hey everyone, this is Mitch from GamerRN. A couple months back, I purchased a physical copy of Lollipop Chainsaw for the PS5. I waited a few months for this game to come in, and honestly, I totally forgot I purchased this game. With Black Friday and all the Christmas deals, I got a few different games for my wife and daughter, and I purchased a ton of different stuff for myself. I remember opening the package and seeing this game, and I was like, oh yeah, I bought this? Like, I was just questioning myself why. So let me be completely honest. I knew nothing about this game going into it. I had no idea what to expect, and the extent of my knowledge of this game was from when it was originally released back on the 360. I remember coming home from school and watching the Rad Brad on YouTube play the prologue, and I knew at that moment that this was not a game I wanted to purchase for myself. Back then I could have watched someone else play through the entire game, and I would have been perfectly fine with that. But honestly, I never went on to watch another video of this game. I don't really remember why, because that was probably 10 years ago now. But what I'm trying to say is, I looked at this game when I saw it being printed for the PS5, and I thought back to the good old days of the 360. And it just brought back so much nostalgia for me, even having no personal connection to this game, that I wanted to play it. Now when I originally got this game, I was just going to shelf it and not play it. But I remember sitting there looking at my options, and I somehow managed to look up a guide on power picks for Lollipop Chainsaw. And I just thought to myself, maybe this won't be that bad of a platinum. Maybe I can finish it in less than a week. So what did I do? I threw the game in my PS5 and I set a 7-day deadline to finish the game and go for the platinum trophy. According to PowerPicks, the game should only take about 15 hours to complete. Now for me, these times are rough estimates, since a lot of times when I sit down to play, I'm in my living room where I hang out with my daughter. So I stop pretty frequently if she wants something or needs me or just wants to play. If I do manage to get a couple hour gaming session in, it's normally after my daughter goes to bed, and it's extremely late at night where I find myself fighting the urge to fall asleep on my couch. Or on my days off of work, I normally will wake up 2 to 3 hours before my wife and daughter and hang out with my dog while I play. So what I'm trying to say is, this game definitely took me a lot longer than 15 hours. But anyways, before we jump into the platinum journey, let me give you a little backstory on this game if you've never played it or heard of it before. Lollipop Chainsaw is a hack and slash game where you'll be controlling the main character Juliet, and it just so happens that on her 18th birthday, zombies begin attacking the town. It'll be up to Juliet and her boyfriend's head to fight back and try to take down the zombies that were released into this world. If you enjoy the video, feel free to drop a like down below. If you enjoy my content, feel free to subscribe and check out my channel for more like it. If you have any game suggestions, drop them down below. Also, I need to apologize, I am sick right now, so I apologize for my voice. The first day of this platinum journey began on a Thursday, so I had 2 full days to finish as much of this game as I could in my free time before I had to work over the weekend. Now I did work the day before I started playing this game, and normally after a 12-hour shift, I go to bed pretty early, which means I'm up early. I was up probably around 7 a.m., and with my family still sleeping, I decided to start playing Lollipop Chainsaw. Now according to the guide on PowerPicks, they do recommend starting the game on hard difficulty, since a majority of the Lollipop wrappers and named zombies only show up on hard mode, and those are 2 big trophies that you'll need to get. So with my dog beside me, I started up a new game on hard mode and immediately jumped into the prologue. One of the things that you'll be doing in this game is rescuing your classmates, and I managed to rescue all of Juliet's classmates in the prologue for the first trophy, Lifeguard, and that right there locks us in until completion. Before completing the prologue though, I ran into my first Chop 2 shop, which is essentially the in-game shop, and I purchased a combo for a trophy. Playing this game on hard difficulty, I realized combos were going to be essential to take out zombies fast, but I also learned early that one of the best combos in this game was one that you actually start with. So I didn't really need to purchase that many combos, but I did need to spend enough medals for some trophies, as well as you still have to purchase everything to get another trophy. But anyways, shortly after that I managed to collect 1000 zombie medals for the trophy Rich Hunter. I ended up running into a named zombie in a hazmat suit and got the unclean and uncool trophy. After I finished the prologue though, I did end up getting my day started and I got my daughter up and hung out with my family. After putting my daughter to bed and catching up on the Netflix show that my wife and I are currently watching, I picked up the game around 3 a.m. Technically, it's still within 24 hours of me starting the game, so I still consider it the first day. The first thing I managed to do was play Leapfrog with some zombies and got the trophy Leapfrog Girl. After that, I just wanted to finish the first stage, so I felt like I made some sort of progress this day. At the end of the first stage, you'll face off against Zed, the punk rock zombie. And after defeating him fairly quickly, I was awarded with the trophy Zed's Dead Baby, Zed's Dead. With that stage completed, it was 4 a.m. and I was exhausted, so I called it a night and went to bed. I was going into day 2 pretty confident. I was playing on the hardest difficulty and making good progress. I figured I could complete the whole game in another day or so, and then I would just have to clean it up. I started playing late into the evening and started the night off on stage 2. While playing this one, I was awarded with the Groovy Hunter trophy, which I was awarded for killing 500 zombies. After that, I finally got to the boss of stage 2, and I managed to complete 2 trophies during this fight: Cheerleader Overboard and the Viking Medal Rules. Before going on to the 3rd stage, I decided to go back for 2 trophies I missed during stage 2, which was the trophy for being struck by lightning 10 times and the trophy for collecting all zombie medals on the roof while using the skill Chainsaw Dash. I did end up unlocking the Gun Strike trophy. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Just allow yourself to be struck by lightning 10 different times, and boom, there you go. Now, I ended up missing some medals on the roof, and I decided I would just come back for this trophy later on. I didn't want to waste any more time on it, since I really wanted to advance the story and finish the game sooner. I went on to the 3rd stage, and I ended up purchasing all the combos the game has to offer, completing the Master Sushi Chef trophy. Right after this in the same stage, I managed to use Juliet's special skill and got a Sparkle Hunt combo of 7 zombies for the Sparkle Hunting Master. I was actually super surprised when this trophy popped up, and I still am, to be totally honest, because I think I put overall 23 hours into this game, and I never managed to get another combo above 5. But I'm glad I got it done early within the game, so I didn't have to waste too much time on it later. I fought the boss for stage 3, and somehow I didn't get hit by any of her balloon attacks, which got me the 3rd eye trophy, and after beating her, I got the Dirty Hippie trophy. I proceeded to stage 4, and it was at this point I was scrolling through the trophies just to see which ones I didn't have, and I noticed that one of them was for completing 51 dropkicks, and I hadn't really been performing any dropkicks at all, so I made it my priority to try to do as many as I could in each fight during this stage. I ended up beating the boss for stage 4 before anything else for the Disco's Dead trophy. Stage 4 was honestly a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, especially with it being towards the end of the game, so now going into stage 5, I was pretty confident. I ended up getting all of the dropkicks I needed for the Juliet 51 trophy. Now it was approaching midnight, and I had to work the next day, and I wasn't going to play much longer, but I wanted to try to go for the trophy for fully upgrading Juliet. I was only 2 items away from having that trophy, and I did actually manage to purchase both items before I went to bed for the perfect body trophy. On day 3, I had to work this day, and I ended up falling asleep pretty early after I got home, so I didn't actually get anything done. On day 4, I did have to work again today, but I was going to be off on day 5, and I knew I wanted to stay up after my kiddo went to bed to try to get some stuff done on the game. Picking up on stage 5 where I left off, I ran into one of Juliet's sisters who came at me like a wrecking ball. Yeah, sorry, I know I'm not funny. But I actually avoided getting hit by it for the Little Sisters Are the Worst trophy. I managed to save the remaining of my classmates on stage 5, and with that final one, I got the San Romero Knight's Savior trophy. Then came what I originally thought was going to be the final boss of the game, and that was partly because he's a pain in the ass. The actual final boss wasn't as bad as the boss at the end of stage 5, in my personal opinion. After a few failed attempts, I finally beat the Rock and Roll Lewis Legend for the Rock and Roll Isn't Here Anymore trophy. Like I said before, I actually thought that was the final boss, and I was mistaken and super surprised by the fact that there was a whole nother stage. Now on stage 6, you'll have to use cars that are being thrown at you to create a ramp to jump and get closer to the boss. I managed to successfully complete all QTEs for the trophy Aced Auto Shop class. I also collected all telephone calls and got the trophy Always on the Phone. And honestly, the boss of the final stage, Killabilly, in my personal opinion, was the easiest one in the game. Even with him throwing other zombies at you on hard mode, it really wasn't that bad. And with the right combos, you can deal with him fairly quickly, which in my case ended up netting me the I Came, I Saw, I Kicked Its Ass trophy. After defeating Killabilly, and because I rescued all of my classmates, I was allowed to watch the happy ending, which also was a trophy. Now, after completing the final stage, I decided to replay the game in the time attack mode, and my goal was to try to reach Zed, since there was a trophy for fighting him and dodging his electric ball attacks that I missed on my first time. While working my way back to Zed, I purchased all music in the shop and collected a trophy. I also managed to collect 10,000 zombie medals in total for the Millionaire Hunter trophy. And when I finally managed to reach Zed, it took me a little while, but I finally got the Watch Out for the Balls trophy. Also, do you remember a couple days ago when I tried to do the chainsaw dash on the roof and didn't succeed? Well, I had to try again, and again, and again, and it kept going. It took me a while. I finally managed to get a successful attempt on the roof for the Go Metal Racer Go trophy. Thank God, because that was probably the worst one for me. At this point, I had built up some more zombie medals, and I just kept spending them on random things that were left over in the shop, and I eventually managed to spend 10,000 for the trophy. Now at this point, I started to see what simple trophies I could get while I was finishing the time attack mode. So I finished a few more of them. I got the I Swear I Did It by Mistake trophy, Endorsed by Cordelia trophy, and when I finally got to stage 3, I got the Legendary Harvester trophy. Also on stage 3, I just started breaking a bunch of random things, hoping I could eventually get the Accidental Vandalism trophy, which I did. I wasn't exactly sure what was considered breakable for this trophy, but like I said, it eventually popped, and I wasn't going to complain about it. Stage 4 was next, and I got to the next trophy, and I needed to beat one of the games in the arcade without delivering any damage. Now, this probably should have been one of the easiest ones, but it was like 1 in the morning, and I was getting frustrated because I was getting stuck between 2 objects, and I'd take an unlucky hit and die. Like I said, it was just more unlucky than anything, but eventually after like 30 minutes of retrying and taking a break, somewhere in there I eventually got the No Fear of Heights trophy. I managed to get to the stage 4 boss, and there was a trophy for defeating him within the last 10 seconds. And you're actually given 3 minutes to fight him. Well, I ended up having to wait almost 2.5 minutes to finish him off, and I actually almost missed it because I wasn't paying attention. But I got it anyways and walked away with the Critical UFO Finish trophy. Now it was getting late into day 4, and it was such a massive day that I didn't want to give up there. So I went into stage 5 and I countered the final boss 7 more times and got the Elephant Tamer trophy. And along the way I managed to get the trophy Zombie Slayer for slaying 3,000 zombies in total. When I got to stage 6, I found the final name Zombie I needed for the zombie album, and after defeating him, I managed to get the Zombie Fancier trophy. When I got to Killabilly, the final boss of the game, I knew I wanted to focus on cutting his fingers off, because there was a trophy for that. After a little bit of time, I managed to complete that one for the Fingered trophy. As well as I beat Time Attack mode finally, and got the Time Attack Zombie Hunter trophy. After this, it was like 3 in the morning, and sure, I was off the next day, but I did need to get some sleep. The next morning was actually Christmas Eve, and I ended up waking up early to get some cleaning done and have breakfast ready for my family when they woke up. My wife and I actually fell asleep on the couch, and once I finished that, I decided to get a little time in before my kiddo woke up. I ended up replaying the game on easy mode, and I completed all of Dad's clear times pretty quickly for 7 more trophies. At this point, I was only 4 trophies away, including the platinum, from being done with this game. When I finished doing Dad's clear times, I did end up getting the option to watch the bad ending whenever I finished, and got the Horrid Birthday trophy. Now at this point I was 3 away, including the platinum, and it was finding the remaining Lollipop wrappers and kissing Nick 100 times. I really wasn't using Nick's powers during the game, so I figured that one was going to take me a little while. But at this point in the game, I had so many zombie medals that I tried to just use all 9 tickets in between shops while I looked for the remaining wrappers. Now apparently I missed 6 wrappers during my time playing the game, and I had no idea where I missed them at. I thought for sure I looked everywhere, but I finally gave in and looked up a guide and found the remaining ones. I had to replay 3 of the stages on hard mode to find them, but eventually returning to stage 5, I got the last wrapper I needed, and while I was doing that, I did also manage to get the Love Nick trophy, and then once I collected that final wrapper, came the Lollipop Addict trophy, and with that, finally came the platinum, and I was done. Well, there's my journey to get the platinum trophy in Lollipop Chainsaw. Honestly, this game genuinely surprised me. I had a lot more fun with it than I really thought I would. The combat is simple and there's not a ton of crazy combos you need to memorize. The story is average, but I mean, I don't need it to be perfect. I enjoyed what I got out of it. Even though I had to play the game 3 times basically, I really enjoyed it each time, and it's not like it takes 10 to 15 hours to get through it. I think I got through the game in like 3 to 4 hours on my last playthrough when I was trying to beat Dad's clear times. Going for the platinum itself wasn't that bad either. A majority of the trophies you can get on the first playthrough, but unless you have a guide, you will probably miss a bit of them. I'm mainly talking about most of the extra trophies you get from like bosses, or looking for the wrappers, or even some of the named zombies. Even though I looked through the trophies at the start, I didn't really take mental note of them during my first playthrough, and because of that, I was forced to go through and do them during my time attack mode. Again, it's not something that is going to make or break this platinum, but if you're someone who doesn't want to play a game multiple times, it can be a little bit tedious, so I can get that. But overall, I spent 23 hours in this game going for the platinum. PowerPix had this game at 15 hours, and I'm also pretty sure I didn't have 23 hours because I fell asleep one night with the game open. So, I mean, I'm sure it took me less time than that. But again, even 23 hours wasn't too bad. It never really felt like the game or the trophies were dragging, and I never looked at any of them, and completely dreaded the idea of going for them. Even the last 2 I needed, with kissing Nick 100 times and going for the wrappers, wasn't that hard to achieve either. And without a guide, I managed to collect every wrapper but 6. So it's not like this game is going to force you to go out of your way searching for collectibles. But anyways, that's my platinum journey for Lollipop Chainsaw. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, thank you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe and check out my channel for more platinum reviews or even 100% reviews. Comment any games you want to see me platinum, or if I have it on PC, I may 100% it. I'm currently working on getting a platinum trophy in Ghost Recon Wildlands and Far Cry 6. As well as I'm playing through Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy on PC for a 100% review eventually. If any of those are games you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned for them. Thanks for watching.